Well, some of the most heartbreaking impacts of the pandemic this year happened in Florida nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Now, some lawmakers are supporting a measure in Tallahassee that would protect facilities from most COVID-related lawsuits.
As NBC6 investigator Phil Prazen found, it could impact many already filed during the pandemic.
The coronavirus rolled through South Florida nursing homes and assisted living facilities.
See all the ambulances here.
Hitting residents.
We haven't really had a chance to just catch our breath.
Workers.
It's just cruel and unusual punishment.
And family members. According to the Florida Department of Health, 74 people died after testing positive here at the Hialeah Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, the most in the state. At one point in the pandemic, the facility had more than 240 cases. Families couldn't visit for months. A situation Jeremiah Lindo's family says contributed to his death. Richard Bo Sharp is their attorney.
It allowed an excuse not to do their jobs.
In a lawsuit, he claims in part the facility failed to have a care plan to properly monitor or supervise Lindo, and because of that, he developed ulcers and an infection.
They were basically left to trust the facility to do what they were supposed to do, and that didn't happen.
He died last December at a local hospital from septic shock. NBC6 reached out to the facility and their attorneys about the case, but we have not yet heard back. In court, they denied the allegations, saying in part Lindo's injuries were the result of other medical conditions and unrelated to the facility's care. But this case is one of many. In Monroe, Miami-Dade, and Broward counties, the state reported more than 1,500 deaths related to COVID at 265 long-term care centers. And NBC6 investigators found at least 118 pending lawsuits were filed against the facilities for negligence or malpractice since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, state lawmakers in Tallahassee debate whether to retroactively raise the bar to file a COVID-related suit against the long-term care facility.
They were there for us during a global pandemic. We need to be back there for them on the backside.
Senator Jeff Brandes is the author of this bill, which would raise the legal threshold to gross negligence or intentional misconduct in these cases. It would also make health providers immune from lawsuits if supplies or personnel were not readily available or not available at a reasonable cost.
PPE in some of these nursing homes and ALFs was a shower cap, a trash bag, and a homemade mask.
Brandes says he hopes to prevent a rush of lawsuits looking for a quick settlement out of court.
If a family member sees this who lost a loved one and is filing suit to get justice in their view, and they see this bill and they're worried about it, what would you tell them?
Well, I mean, if the business clearly committed gross negligence and we can prove that, then you can go forward with your suit.
Sharp believes his lawsuit will still meet that higher threshold because it's not specifically related to COVID, but he worries about the scores of lawsuits that could be thrown out.
What they want is they want a blanket protection that's going to prevent them from being sued for the things that they did before, as well as the things that are created by COVID.
Now, there is another version of this bill in the Florida House, and the final details have not yet been worked out with the Senate. One key debate still left is whether these new protections should last for 1 year or for longer. We will stay on top of this issue as it goes through the process. Phil Prazen, NBC6 News.